It's always exciting to come here because it's almost a miracle the way Hong Kong's developed. But this time, naturally, one's mind was full of other thoughts. What is going to happen will shape Hong Kong's whole future. I think the main worries are that although the economic freedom is now well established, that the rights which people of Hong Kong have come to know as their own and as their rights might be constrained. We clearly must have freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of association. These are fundamental freedoms, freedom of religious worship. These are fundamental freedoms, and they must continue.
They're calling for representative democracy, one person, one vote, an end to the system of functional constituency. This is where half of Hong Kong's legislature is made up of representatives from various industries and business interests, and the resignation of Hong Kong's chief executive. In August, the government came out with their own political reform proposal. They would allow for popular elections in 2017, but candidates would first be screened by an electoral committee.
The joint declaration on the future of Hong Kong, which we have just signed on behalf of our two governments, is a landmark in the life of the territory.
As one of the co-signers of the joint declaration, are you disappointed right now being in Hong Kong and seeing that the provisional legislature will be sworn in right after the handover and that it plans to roll back civil liberties?
Yes, I am. It would have been a magnanimous gesture to say, all right, we'll continue with the Legislative Council. It's important we get a good start, so let that just continue until a new one is elected. And I had hoped right up to the end that somehow the present government in Beijing would be magnanimous about it. You know,
what they're doing is that an electoral committee of 1,200 people, most of which belong to the business sector and most of which are completely pro-Beijing, will be able to vote for candidates, and you'll have to get at least half of those vote nominations before you become a candidate, which basically means that there's no way a pan-Democrat or a non-pro-Beijing person could be nominated as a candidate. The restrictions are so high that it prompted the whole movement to start.
Well, what makes you think that China will actually live up to its word?
Do I think that because of things like Tiananmen Square, that China can keep her agreement? Yes, the answer is yes, because China made the agreement in great detail. She knows that she'll be judged in the eyes of the world by whether she keeps that agreement. And I think the fact that there were full cameras in Tiananmen Square when that terrible decision was made to fire meant that the whole world saw what communism was like. And any tyranny, whether it's the fascism, the Nazism, the communism, any tyranny does not observe the rights of the people. But it must have been a great lesson to the rulers of China that she was universally condemned by the world, and I do not believe that it would happen again.
For the most part, many of these professionals, they are involved in the movement because they are truly, I think, in support of democracy. Around 60% of Hong Kong people traditionally have been supportive of democracy. This is a very wide spectrum of people because this time the Occupy Central movement.
When you fell down in front of the Great Hall of People after a meeting with Deng Xiaoping, many people saw that as an omen. So what were you thinking when that happened, or what did you think when that happened?
I was actually looking up at the cameras at the bottom, because they were looking, and I had very high heels on. And those steps are rather more narrow than the ones I was used to having, and the heel caught on the edge of the step, and so my ankle went. And that's all it was. Just bad luck.
Do you
Week, after the class boycott, students tried to reclaim a civic square, which is a public space outside the government headquarters. They tried to reclaim that area, which had been arbitrarily sealed off by the police without any reason. They went inside without any weapons, so just, going inside. But they were immediately arrested, and pepper spray was used on them for no reason. And the students that were arrested, the 3 student leaders that were arrested, they were detained illegally. So later on, they were denied bail, which is completely outrageous. And when that happened,
in which case Hong Kong would have been a free, independent nation long before now. She could be still if China would let her.